This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
A lot of people look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. Let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
So I had to get my my St. Patrick's garb going here. So here we go. We're very green here tonight. We're going green tonight for Friday Night Freedom. So I'm going to say it again because I was actually muted.
No.
But hey, you know,
I got push that button, man. Push the button.
I got it, and there's a sign right here on one of my cameras that says unmute. And it's right in my line of sight, and I just completely disregarded it. I said, welcome to Friday Night Freedom, everybody. My name is Kaz, and up there in the bubble of doom is Pookie. And we're just going to hang out here for St. Patrick's Day, because I ain't got nothing better to do but to do a little radio show. So how's it going, man?
It's going all right.
Do anything special for St. Patrick's Day today, or...
I started drinking at the 1700s. So, I'm Irish, so St. Paddy's Day is not really that big of a deal to me. It's like everyone else on St. Paddy's Day.
It's like every day. St. Paddy's Day is every day, huh?
Yeah.
So before we get started, let's talk about upcoming show this Tuesday with CQ. Actor and director John Carroll Lynch will be on Pop Culture Warrior with CQ. Mr. Lynch has been around a while. He might be best known for his roles in Shutter Island, Paul, Camp X-Ray, and The Highwaymen. You can tune into Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. right here on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments. And we have other platforms, too. I'd like to say hello to everybody on YouTube and Twitch and both Facebook pages and Twitter. What's up, Twitter?
Hello, Twitter.
Hello, Twitter. So St. Patrick's Day, man. It comes once a year. Once a year, always falls on March 17th. Well, St. Patrick was a 5th century Roman British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland. He was born in...
London?
No, he was born in, let me see.
Britain somewhere. It's Roman
Britain.
Yes.
In the 4th century. His father was a deacon and his grandfather was a priest in the Christian church. At the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to a Gaelic island. He spent 6 years there working as a shepherd, and during that time he found God. Apparently God was on the island with him. God told Patrick to flee to the coast where a ship would be waiting to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest. According to tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. He spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland, and he converted thousands of people. Patrick's efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove the snakes out of Ireland, despite the fact that the snakes were not known to inhabit that region.
Yes.
Tradition holds it that he... Go ahead.
No, there's kind of like an allegory to the whole snakes. There's the pagans be gone. Theirs was the snakes. That's kind of like...
Tradition holds it that he died on 17 March. And he was buried in Downpatrick, Northern Ireland. Over the following centuries, many legends grew up around Patrick, and he became Ireland's foremost saint. His name wasn't Patrick. His birth name was Maewyn Succat. This is according to Irish legend. He changed it to the Latin name Patricius after becoming a priest. Historians say that St. Patrick's color was blue, not green. The use of green on the holiday became common during the 1600s and 1700s when the clover became a symbol of nationalism and wearing green on lapels became the norm. St. Patrick's Day is historically observed through a number of traditions. These include preparing food like corned beef and cabbage, musical gatherings, and decorating with symbols like shamrocks and leprechauns. Some more St. Patrick's Day facts. Up until the 1970s, St. Patrick's Day was considered a religious holiday in Ireland, meaning that all the pubs in the country were closed. But thanks to a law written by Parliament member James O'Meara, Ireland later realized that they could attract lots of tourists for the holiday, and the green beer was suddenly free flowing. So, because of money, they opened up the bars. On St. Patrick's Day 2018, Americans were estimated to have spent a record-breaking $5.9 billion on alcohol and decorations and whatnot. So if you're going out tonight, I hope that you enjoy yourself, but please be responsible enough to arrange for sober transportation if you have been drinking, because we want to see you later and we don't want anything bad or nasty to happen. So.
Yeah, you don't want to pay them DUI fines either. They're not fun.
No, they had during Christmas, they at work they say, how you doing, Cherry? Cherry's here, Heath is here, Holly, Branko's here. Great to see everybody here, man. Yeah, during the holidays, they always put up a flyer that says, they're always talking about, don't drink and drive, this, that, and the other. But they put like it's a bill that they put up on the wall, and it just says, this is what it will cost you if you get your first DUI, your second DUI, third DUI, and it has all the monetary stuff in there. And it's like your first DUI is going to cost you about 10, 15 grand.
It's just cheaper, just the Uber. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
This Uber.
A couple bucks. Even if your Uber's $50, that's cheaper.
In worst case scenario, your car might get impounded that night because it was sitting overnight in a lot somewhere. You're going to pay what, $150, maybe $250 to get it on. It's safer than getting a DUI. Trust me on this.
Yeah, and it's not just the monetary cost, man. You could hit somebody and kill them.
Yes, you could do a lot of damage.
It's more than just a DUI. Sure, a DUI is fucking inconvenient, but so is losing a family member because someone had been drinking and driving,
or having your family members have to attend your funeral because you're an idiot. So I mean, yeah.
But the Leprechaun Council has convened. I believe this is either last night or today. No, this was today. The Council of Leprechauns met, and there's been some changes here. So the Leprechauns Great Council met today and voted on replacing gold with Bitcoin in their pots. 10 out of the 12 elder leprechauns voted in favor of switching over to pots of Bitcoin. One abstained since he couldn't understand what Bitcoin was, and Mike the Leprechaun voted against it, believing that gold will somehow make a comeback and rise above Bitcoin once again.
I'm with the guy who is with the gold at that point.
Yeah, right. The council was presented a chart as evidence, and they would be better served holding Bitcoin since it has outperformed gold since its creation, and it is far better for the environment, saying that it is mined with green energy. So starting today, if you follow a rainbow, you might get lucky and discover a pot of Bitcoin instead of gold. So good luck to everybody.
I'd rather take the gold.
Yeah, I mean, gold will always have value. I don't know, Bitcoin's been around, 26 now? It's back up to 26?
I have not actually looked at it. It was down there in the 20s, and with this banking shit hitting the fan, it seems like a lot of people are bailing over to crypto because they don't trust the U.S. dollar. So
it's just the banking is so, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But banking is so, just all of the shenanigans that have been happening just this week with banks and between banks is
everything's fine though.
Everything's fine.
Don't panic.
Everything's fine, and it's like, what the hell did Yellen say? It's like everybody will be made whole. And everybody that had money in the banks that crashed. There was 4 of them. There's 4 of them. One of them, 2 of them disappeared, and 2 more of them are in kind of deep shit. But she's like, that first bank that crashed. Actually, it was the second one.
Silicon.
Yeah, the Silicon Valley, SV something. She said, at first she said everyone's going to be made whole. Then it was like, most of you are going to be made whole. So anyway, let's talk about. We'll talk about that right after this next story.
Yeah.
So another thing that has been in the news that is kind of it is money related. It's not kind of money related. It fucking is. The chairman of the House Oversight Committee published a memo yesterday alleging that Hunter Biden and at least 2 relatives were paid $1.3 million from an associate from the president's son who had links to a Chinese energy company. They are alleged to have been paid after the associate Rob Walker was wired $3 million in March of 2017 from a Chinese energy company affiliated with another company that Biden had been doing business with. The recipients of the $1.3 million in payment were Biden, his uncle James Biden, Haley Biden, who was the widow of Hunter Biden's brother Beau. It is unclear what services were provided to obtain this exorbitant amount of money, said the chairman. I think that it's crazy that this is very huge news, and it's flooring me that it's not front page news.
Yeah, but Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump again, right?
Yeah, there's a whole shitload of Trump in there, and all the charges are coming. The charges are coming for Trump. There's news story after news story after news story.
That's why they want to ban TikTok.
So this story on Biden and the money, the Biden family and the money. I didn't see it on Drudge. I didn't see it on Fox. I didn't see it on CNN. It was mentioned on sites that had paywalls, but I wasn't going to go into them. So I had to do a search for it, and I found the article buried on the NBC site. It's not even on the front page of NBC. You got to search for it. You got to do work to find it. So another story that's fading away is the story of the collapse of SVB, or the Silicon Valley Bank. SVB was a bank that helped fuel small businesses and startups. 3 other banks are in horrible trouble and have collapsed during the same time period, and no one is talking about it. And this is all has happened in the last week.
Oh, there's more than just these are there's 3 major banks, but there's regional banks that are being affected by this, like small little hometown banks that are getting screwed over. I saw a report on Unusual Whales. I don't know if you follow Unusual Whales on Twitter or anything like that, but he's pretty good on keeping up with the stonks and stuff like that. But he's been pretty good. Like Wall Street Silver is another one that's real big. They've been really dropping the news on this constantly. Like these banks here, this bank here, this bank is doing this. Like Wells Fargo is doing some fuckery in the middle of the night. One night I was confused about. It's 100 plus banks are being affected by this right now.
That many, really? I kind of figured the smaller banks would, because the smaller banks are going to be doing business with bigger banks, and it's all. It's basically banks just trading money.
Yeah,
it's
money makes money.
Money makes money. So I don't pretend to understand completely what's going on, but there's a lot of fuckery going on, and it stinks to me. So First Republic Bank is in deep shit, but it received $30 billion from other banks, so it can stay afloat. First Republic's credit rating went down because it had a large amount of accounts with balances exceeding $250,000, and they're not covered under the FDIC protection.
Well, according to the Fed, everyone's getting their money now, so it don't matter at that point.
Yeah, where's that money coming from? I understand the first $250,000. Where's the rest of it coming from?
Well, the bank fees to the FDIC, the bank fees,
Oh, your ATM fees?
Everyone's like, it's not a bailout. It's not a bailout. I was like, it sounds like a bailout with extra steps involved is what it sounds like to me. And it blows my mind. Like I watched the price of gold when that's gold. Like I was talking about gold and silver and stuff like that. I can watch the price of gold and silver and dictate what the economy is going to be doing at that point. And when gold shoots up, silver shoots up, shit's hitting the fan at that point.
Yeah.
People are bailing out for gold will always be worth gold, and silver will always be worth silver at that point. This is whoever dictates how much it's worth, but it's still going to hold its value. And the crypto went crazy. Bitcoin shot up. There's a couple of them shot up. People are like, "Oh, this is going to be a crypto winner." La, da, 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 da. Like some of the smaller ones shot down because everyone was bailing out of the small ones to jump on the Bitcoin because everyone saw Bitcoin going to the moon at that point.
Another bank involved in this is Credit Suisse. I don't know how you say that.
That's not a Swiss bank.
Yes, it's Swiss, but they're suffering too. They're having compliance problems, and their stock is losing a lot of value consistently. Signature Bank is another one. Was actually the first bank to fail, and it was going to be under investigation by the United States Department of Justice concerning its failure to properly scrutinize clients' activities for signs of money laundering. Signature Bank is
Trump get kicked out of depositing of Signature Bank because of some shit.
I don't know.
I would have to look that up. I could have sworn that was one of the banks that was like, "Oh, you're bad, Orange Man bad.
Deposit here. We don't want your billions of dollars."
Yeah, right.
What kind of dumb shit is that? Signature Bank is also huge in the crypto market. It is known as a distinct ally to the crypto market. And if no other bank steps into its place of Signature Bank, the crypto market will suffer. I guess that they were providing money, like cash money, real money.
Coinbase was associated with that, and that's who I do my crypto exchange with. And I had my shit locked out for 48 hours. It was nuts. Could not do anything.
You couldn't make a deposit. You couldn't take a withdrawal.
Well, they would take the deposits, of course. You know that's how that works. But you can't pull it because I wanted to move some stuff around. I saw what was happening. I wasn't trying to pull the money out. I was just wanting to make some adjustments, to make a couple bucks. But they what was it, the stable coin, US dollar coin?
Yeah, USD coin.
And when I saw it drop down, I was like, holy shit, this is a panic effect. And I wanted to throw money into it because it went from what should be standardly $1 to $1 at that point, or 1 to 1. It dropped down to, I think it was like 85 to 1 or something like that.
Wow.
0.85 to 1.
Losing like, 15 cents per dollar. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, is I could take whatever and deposit it into that and make my money back, and that's exactly what happened. It stabilized again, and it was a dip that you could have made a shit ton of money on if you saw the dip coming, and I couldn't do anything because I was locked out. They straight locked me out at that point.
So I think the people who made money on this were the venture capitalists and stuff for what's that first bank that we talked about, the SVB. Because they saw it coming way before anybody else, before it even got public.
Oh, so that CEO,
they were handing out
pulled money. Vice president pulled money,
and they were giving bonuses,
the whole 9 yards. That needs investigated. That to me seems criminal as shit.
Yeah,
but who knows? Biden's getting $3 million from somewhere, China, but no one's investigating that shit either.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that actually has physical evidence that are not being investigated, and then there's shit they're just making up facts for. And
oh, God forbid, what's her name? I gotta go look it up on Twitter now. She's a senator or representative. She's part of the House committee, January 6th committee, and she's like, "Oh, it's so wrong that Tucker Carlson and Fox took the tapes and released them and showed you the actual footage, and that's not the truth. Don't trust your eyes. That's not the truth. Believe what we've edited."
Yeah, believe what we tell you. Don't believe what you.
During this whole shit, what's her name? The talking head for the White House. What's her face? Pierre or whatever her name is. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, the banking system's fine. The banking system's fine. The banking system's fine." I was like watching 3, 4, 5 banks getting locked up, trading getting locked up. I'm like, yeah, keep lying to people. I don't believe anything anymore. It's been a straight up clown world week.
So Musa says that we should have an economics talk show, or at least an economics segment. We talk, we do talk about.
Try to. I'm not super educated on it. But...
I mean, I'm not a financial advisor or anything. I mean, I'll let you know what I do. I'll let you know what I do with my money, or what I do when I buy crypto or whatever. But it's not because I know what I'm doing, because I don't.
I read the Wall Street Journal.
And you slept in a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
At some point in your life, so that qualifies you.
I know what I'm talking about. Probably more qualified than half the financial advisors up in DC right now.
I get so nervous, man, because my daughters, they ask me. Well, my oldest daughter does. Because I get her her Army savings plan crap. I get a lot of that literature here, and then I'll collect a couple of them, then I'll stick them in the mail and forward them to her. I'm like, you need to get this money out and put it in your own Fidelity account, or TD Waterhouse, or TD Ameritrade, or something. Go to go to your bank. Go to whatever your bank is, and just start shoveling money. $25 a week. I mean, you're in your 20s now, so by the time you're 65, 70 years old, you're going to have a pretty damn good nest egg there.
I got my finances set up to where I got a certain percentage that comes out every month, and I split it up. You never sit everything in one basket. That's common sense. Mm-hmm. I buy physical silver, gold, you name it. Ammo's good. Hedge fund, surprisingly enough. But stonks, Ford, NVIDIA,
even some of the big ones. Even Heath was saying Raytheon is always good. Any defense contractor, Lockheed Martin, Textron, Raytheon is always good. Northrop.
If they pay a dividend, I'm into it. I don't give a shit. Ford's all off. Like it does this.
That was another one of those things about those banks. I think it was Signature Bank. It could have been Signature Bank. It might even have been SVB. No, it It was Signature. Could have been Credit. I could have been any of these three, but they were a dividend. They paid dividends on their stocks. Well, they completely stopped paying dividends on their stocks because they're losing money.
That's a sign right there when they start. Like if you're invested into a stock and they say, "Hey, we're halting dividend payments," and they've historically paid dividends, that's the time to bail out of your shit. At that point, like, I'm gonna take my money and run with this shit, huh?
My company did that, and then their stock price went down a lot. Like, it went down into the single dollar digits. And we're like, oh my gosh. And I work for a conglomerate, so it's just like, wow. And this was right around 2008, 2009 when that crash happened. But then, we're back into the 70s now. So imagine being back there and you're like, I see it being, $5 a share. I'm buying a lot of it. Dude, I'd take a loan out and buy some of that stock because it's going to come back. Well, you don't know. You're probably 80% sure that it's going to come back.
I don't give it financial advice, but after the pandemic thing happened, I watched Carnival cruise lines go from like $50 to like $8. It still hasn't rebounded yet, but I'm thinking to myself, it's like, maybe one day when everything starts to get stable and people have money to do things, it might shoot up there. So I think, dump $10, $15 here or there. That's no biggie to me. That's a pack of cigarettes and a 6-pack of beer.
It's worth it, man. To take care. I mean, you got to take care of your retirement. You got to think about what are you going to do when you have no income? You're not always going to have income. Pharmaceuticals is good. What did we talk about earlier?
Pfizer.
You're not uranium, but palladium.
Cobalt. Cobalt's a big one.
What's the other one? Lithium. Lithium.
Cobalt's a huge one. I mean,
toilet paper.
Georgia Pacific. Yeah, there you go.
You could probably pick that up pretty cheap. That railroad's always going to exist. It might get sold, and it might be called something else, but it's always going to be.
Let's talk about
Norfolk Southern. Norfolk
Georgia,
Southern.
I think Georgia Pacific is the paper mill company. They produce.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of railroads.
I'd stay out of the railroad business right now. They're about to get freaking slapped with all kinds of lawsuits
and additional regulations that mean nothing, and that will probably, just like gun control, all this gun control legislation. You take any of this gun control legislation that's being promoted, and then you apply, if this had been in place, and then just name the shooting, would that have changed anything? And the answer is probably no for every one of those scenarios.
Well, it's like Germany. I don't know if you saw what happened. It was 2 weeks ago.
What's going on in Deutschland?
Yeah, they had a mass shooting there, and they were like pushing for more gun control. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, I thought Germany had some pretty stringent.
You can't have gun-shaped twigs on your trees.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty strict.
I think you're allowed a bolt action. I think you're allowed a bolt action hunting rifle. Is about the gist of it, and you have to go through hoops of fire to even pick it up, like an education course, a 4-year college course, and
Italy's the same way.
Yeah, I mean, but their reaction to it was more gun control. I think your gun control didn't prevent that. It was just you had an asshole that had access to a gun that wanted to do damage, and that will always happen, regardless of where. Regardless, did it happen in Japan just recently too? And Japan had some pretty.
They had a prime minister got shot and killed.
Yes,
on the street. We talked about it.
It was a zip. It was a zip gun. Yeah, but still, if you want to make something, that's what I'm getting at. No?
Iridium. That's another good one.
Iridium. Anything. Rhodium. Tritium. Anything radioactive. Thorium is dirt cheap, but I say in the next 50 years it's going to be expensive as shit. Huh? California keeps doing their crazy energy crisis shit. Huh? Nuclear power plants could be building all over the place.
Dude, have you seen all the snow that they've gotten up in the Sierra Nevadas?
Where's it? Tahoe somewhere. They showed a picture of
the ski lift. The ski lifts that were buried.
Dude's standing on top of the snow, actually touching the top wheel of the ski lift. Like, hey, this is the most snow I've ever seen.
It's like 53 feet of snow.
something nuts.
So I saw that. I'm like, dude, it's getting ready to be springtime, and all that crap's gonna melt.
Oh, they're already having flooding issues in California right now.
That's what I hear. I mean, when the melt comes, dude. I mean, I've been down in the valley from the Rocky Mountains up in Montana, and when that snow starts melting, that water goes somewhere, and you have some pretty good whitewater rafting opportunities in the rivers there. Cold as shit, dude, but boy, it's a lot of fun. It's colder than the Guadalupe River. If you've been to the Guadalupe River, you know what I'm talking about.
That's how you get sunburnt.
On the tops of your feet, relaxing, just laying back in a tube, just getting baked on the.
Don't realize you're getting irradiated by the sun because you're so cold. You know the sun feels good. Next thing you know, you look like a fucking lobster.
You wake up with blisters on the top of your feet and on your shoulders. Shit. Where's the angry potato? Who's
weather potato?
The angry weather potato. Who's that?
Oh, I know what she's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about. Huh? How dare you ruin my childhood?
oh, Thunberg, whatever her last name is.
I like the angry weather potato. I like that. I think that's where you were going with it.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but
hey, what's up, Wolfie?
Shots. I'm drinking beer.
Yeah. Hey,
old Yingling.
Oh, I got like 3 bottles of Yingling in the refrigerator. I should grab those. So Wolfie, every once in a while, CQ will do a giveaway on his show. Wolfie won it.
Does he?
Did he? Yeah. I was about to... It was a bunch of cool shit too. So let me see. Sarah Kavanaugh. We can talk about her.
Kavanaugh, that sounds familiar.
Decorated Marine E6, got cancer.
Oh.
Got cancer from the burn pits.
Stolen valor.
None of that shit is true. An East Greenwich woman convicted of defrauding veterans charities, friends, and organizations by falsely claiming to be a wounded Marine veteran will spend nearly 6 years behind bars. Holy shit. I was like, when I heard this, 6 years for stolen valor, I'm like, wow, that's pretty steep. And then I learned about all that she did, and I'm like, she ought to be buried under the damn jail. So Sarah Kavanaugh, age 32, pled guilty last summer to 4 counts of wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, forged military discharge certificates, and fraudulent use of military medals. Let me see. Sarah Kavanaugh's conduct in the course of her scheme is nothing short of appalling, U.S. Attorney Zachary Chuna says. By brazenly laying claim to the honor, service, and sacrifice of our real veterans, this defendant preyed on the charity and decency of others for her own shameless financial gain. An investigation revealed Kavanaugh falsely claimed to be a cancer-stricken Marine Corps veteran and used that status to obtain money, goods, services, and paid leave from various individuals, charities, and employee benefit programs. At the time she did so, she was neither ill nor a veteran. Kavanaugh has never served a day in the United States military in any capacity. In court, Kavanaugh apologized for her actions and acknowledged that the damage cannot be undone. She says, quote, "I will always carry this burden of shame for what I have done, and I accept that." Kavanaugh was guilty without a doubt, but that didn't stop her attorney from asking for leniency. Kavanaugh's defense attorney, Kensley Barrett, asked the judge for leniency in a sentencing memorandum filed last Sunday, arguing that a 2-year sentence would be more sufficient, but not greater than necessary. Barrett, the prosecuting attorney, said despite Kavanaugh's severe trauma during high school, Barrett said that she beat the odds and graduated and then went on with a sociology degree. That was her attorney that was saying. But Barrett claimed that Kavanaugh did not commit the crimes, quote, with malice in her heart or purely for economic benefit, and that her actions are more nuanced than what it appears at first glance. I can't believe she said that with a straight face. But now
the banking system's completely fine
Right. But now's where the prosecuting attorney says that her acts are reprehensible and they cause financial and severe emotional damage to many innocent people and organizations. She was sentenced to serve 70 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. She was ordered to pay more than $250,000 in restitution. And the article goes on, trying to explain away what she did. I mean, she's like selling her house, and a portion of her proceeds are going to be going, to pay this restitution. So, I mean, she's making good on it, but dude, she's a fucking shitbag for doing this. I mean, for every benefit that she collected, another veteran didn't get. And that's where my sticking point is. It is reprehensible.
I like Patrick Los reply to that. If she wants to be in the military so bad, make her do nothing but all the mandatory trainings and the ALMS and JKO trainings while in prison. I like that. Death by PowerPoint.
That is
Death
awesome.
By snoo. Yes.
That's a great idea. Here, you want to be a Marine? Here, you got to take all these.
That's cruel and unusual punishment, though, man. I hate to say it. My big thing is with the DD-214, right? It's just a piece of paper. Right. You get it when you're leaving out. That's a big thing for a military. Like, oh, I got my DD-214. Why haven't they made like a DD-214's like dash ID card that has your date of birth, your all your stuff on there, like the real ID kind of thing?
Well, I think what they ought to do is give like a CAT card for civilians for veterans. That just has all of your stuff on it. Has your military records, has your medical records on there, honorable discharge, whatever kind of discharge you have. It might even have all your VA stuff, service connected, this, that, and the other thing.
Because, I mean, think about it. There's like a billion, I won't say a billion, super exaggerated, but millions of homeless veterans, hundreds of thousands of homeless veterans, whatever. They could be afforded the right to have an ID card that they can update every 5 years free of charge. That way, like, there's people who can't get ID cards and not be able to open bank accounts, get jobs, things like that. Homeless vets.
Or it's like in your case. Hey, Pookie, can I see your driver license? You don't drive, do you?
No, I've got an ID card but I mean, it like the VA card they give you. It's like I don't know if you have a VA card or anything. Like, it has no information on it except your name and a photo of you.
It's got my photo. It's got my photo. It's got my branch of service, and it's got my disability on there, and it says service connected. Yeah,
service connected. That's it. I mean, there's, like I said, make it like the VA gives out, but like an actual physical passport kind of thing that is almost impossible to forge. Make it like a rite of passage instead of just a little piece of paper that if you accidentally lose, you got to like go through like hellfire to get a copy of it. I mean, it's just these people can fake the paperwork, get through all this crap, and wind up in a position like that. It should never be like that. They should be able to just go boop and be like check mark or no check mark.
I might be misspeaking and I might be wrong on this, but I think that she was employed by the VA. And I know that she was actually a chapter president at a VFW.
But I thought you needed can anyone just be a chapter president now at a VFW?
Apparently. Or they didn't do their due diligence when they vetted her.
That's what I'm saying. DD-214-ID, make it a thing. Just a little ID card to keep in your wallet. Every like 5 years you can go get upgrade, get new photo on it. You don't have to pay for it. It's just got your name, maybe not address on there, but Social Security or whatever service number.
Well, it's like a passport, because a passport's got all of your information. It doesn't have an address on there because people move.
Yeah. Make a
and it's good for 10 years.
That's it. There you go. Do the same thing with a passport. You get out, you get a little book or a little ID card. They have a passport ID card now. It's kind of like you can buy cigarettes. Get loans, do whatever you need to do with it. Instead of just sitting on the side of the street with no ID card. Because that screwed me up getting out of the military because I lost my ID card. They voided my ID card because I tried to apply for it, and they're like, "Well, that's not good, and your information." And they voided it.
Cut the
And
corner
then I
off.
was like, I'm sitting there for almost 2 years with no ID. You know how hard it is to function in society without an ID card. It's almost, you have to dip and dodge the cops. Anytime you see the cops, like, oh, I'm not dealing with that, you know.
or even if you, I mean, to get a library card, you have to show ID.
Yeah.
To buy alcohol, you may or may not get carded, but you know they'll take a library card for that. But I mean, other things. You want to get a cell phone, you want to buy a house or rent an apartment or rent a car. I was in when I turned my car in to get work done. I'm already in the system. I've been renting from Amazon, from Enterprise for years, so I don't have to go through all this. There was a family there that was from California. Their car had broken down. They had never rented from Amazon or from Enterprise before, and it was like entering the freaking military service. They were asking them for proof of residence. Do you have a bill? Do you have a canceled bill? Do you have a water bill, phone bill, whatever? And it's just like, I was like, man, I don't remember going through that. Maybe that's a new thing.
No, it's crazy. The real ID process is nuts. Birth certificate, proof of residence. So you need a bill, a bank statement, something else, tax statement, a whole bunch of but by the time you're done, it's like walking in with a leave packet.
Height, weight. Well,
yes.
height, weight would be fine. Yeah, I used to weigh 175. I don't weigh 175 anymore, though.
Blood type. Yeah.
Blood type is good. Organ donor, maybe some of the same information that's on your driver license.
It's too easy to make you've seen the passport IDs. Make one for a DD-214 that just says veteran on it.
Here in Texas, I know that's in several other states. I've got veteran. I provided my DD-214 when I got my driver license, and it says veteran on it. So it's like that's a good first step. That might be a cool thing to maybe.
Yeah, that's the real ID. I think they all say that on there. It says veteran at the bottom of it. Virginia used to issue out a secondary veteran
card. Okay.
Where you could use it. It didn't have your date of birth or anything on there, but it said veteran, and you had a DD-214. But these are paperwork that you could have easily faked. Like I'm saying, easily faked to get that card, and you could have just rolled around during like Veterans Day or whatever to get your free meals. And look at me, I served in Iraq and I held nuclear bombs and blah blah blah. You could hear it a mile away. It's just like, okay, yeah, you're either crazy or you got bopped in the head too many times, or you're straight up lying to me in the face right now. So I mean.
Or they've told that lie so much that it's been refined and they believe it, and it's almost believable. I mean, you hang around veterans long enough, you hear the stories. You can modify your story to make it fit and work and whatnot.
I was down in Florida. Almost got into a fist fight with a bum, tweaker.
What?
My buddy had to. Yes. My buddy had to pull me off because I'm walking by and he starts talking about, I'm waiting for my I'm disabled, but my disability check, I get the VA. I was like thinking to myself, just like, this is the middle of the month, my man.
I don't think anybody.
You
first
get
of the month.
You get first of the month. I was like the middle of the month, and you're waiting on your mid-month check. Well, you got a special, and it's like my buddy heard my voice has changed. Like, he's sitting there wearing Afghan, he's sitting there bumming for change on the side of the road. I was like, I'm about to snatch you up. And I was just like, my voice changed. My buddy's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. This was in Ocala, by the way. I don't live in Florida anymore, thank God. The place is fucking batshit crazy.
God, I'd love to. I mean, the only thing that keeps me from Florida is hurricane. I mean, I would probably love it. It would be humid, and I'd complain every day about it.
I will do.
But I don't.
Hurricanes all day long. Hurricanes, alligators, big old snakes. I don't care. Herpes monkeys don't bother me. It's the tweakers that freak me the hell out.
A lot of tweakers out there. I imagine that's kind of like an easier to access Hawaii. Hawaii is the same way because the climate is like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just they can sleep outside and not die.
No, it's just like the Keys were bad. I was like fishing one night. The bridge is coming off one. They have like road access roads, so you can pull your vehicle down, so you can go fishing. I'm fishing at night, mind my own business, listen to music. I'm fishing for snapper, and all of a sudden I hear this bum from underneath the bridge. Turn your goddamn music off. People trying to sleep here. I'm like, well, I'm trying to fish here. And he started getting aggressive, like throwing rocks and crap at me. I was like, I gotta get out of here. You know, like I was about to call the cops, but it's like, Not worth my time at this point. He's just gonna get hemmed up, wind up back under that bridge by the end of the night, and you know, I got to fill out paperwork. So it was like, it's not worth it for me at that point.
Yeah. So, we were talking before the show, and I'm letting Pookie know what we're going to talk about. So I just give him like Cliff's notes, man. I'm just like this, and this. And I said, "Oh, a Ford recall." And he goes, "Oh." He just like wasn't impressed. He's like, "Oh, like which one this time?"
Yeah, like every day, you know.
But yeah, there's another Ford recall. This kind of segues into another story, a personal story of mine. So here we go. Ford is recalling more than 1.5 million vehicles in the United States in two actions to fix leaky brake hoses and a windshield wiper arm that can break. The largest of two recalls covers about 1.3 million 2013 through 2018 Ford Fusions and Lincoln MKX midsize cars. The company says in documents posted Friday by safety regulators that the front brake hoses can rupture and leak brake fluid. That is definitely a safety concern. Dealers will be replacing the hoses, and Ford will mail owners notification letters starting April 17th. They'll get a second letter once parts are available for the fix. So it's kind of like the Tanaka airbag thing. They're like,
oh yeah, that thing.
We acknowledge that there's an issue. We do have to get parts. So when we get the parts in, then we'll let you know. So I think everybody had to take their car in.
Yeah, what they do, I think they get access to the DMV records of what vehicles are what, and they send letters out to the specific individuals based off of your DMV. But they repair for free. You take it in, and they fix it. Just don't get conned into. They love to con you, be like, "Hey, your brakes need fixed, and this needs fixed." While they're fixing, like, no, just fix the crap that you said was for free. Like they always try to get.
Oh yeah, when my daughter she had a Honda Civic, she had a Honda Civic. She bought another car since then. But she took it in for that Tanaka airbag thing, and they're just like, "Oh, here's a whole list of other shit that you got to do, and the estimated cost for that is like $1,300." And I looked at it, and it was nothing more than what you would get like at a 75,000 mile tune up. They're like, "Okay, we're going to check your O2 sensor. We're going to, lube everything. We're going to do this." And it's like that's just general maintenance, and they were trying to get her to pay $1,300 to do that. So anyway, dealers are going to do all that work. The second recall covers more than 222,000 F-150 pickups from 2021, 22, and 23. The windshield wiper arms can break. Dealers are going to replace them if needed. Owners will be notified starting March 27th. So here's a funny story. Yesterday, we had all hell broke loose here in north central Texas. We had one hell of a storm. And it was shockingly huge, and it didn't show up. It was huge. It didn't show up out of nowhere. We knew that we were due for weather, but I don't think anybody knew exactly how huge this system was. It was pretty fucking bad. It was really bad.
It was as big as China.
As big as China. He's bigger than Taiwan. So here's I took some pictures, but here's the funny story part of it is I drive a 2019 Fusion, and this is totally unrelated to these recalls. But yesterday I was driving home right before that massive storm hit. So if you look where it says Pantego in East Arlington, well, right underneath that is Interstate 20. So I'm going from east to west. I'm driving west. And it starts to rain a little bit, so I turned on my windshield wipers, and it made one little whoop, and my wiper blade on the driver's side flew off. I'm doing highway speed, and my fucking wiper blade, it went up, and it disappeared. It was gone. I saw it go up, and I heard it, ting tang over the roof, and I'm just like, looks like I got to buy new blades. I didn't need to change them. I only had them for a little bit. They were still good. So I stopped at AutoZone for a new set of wipers. The total cost for two freaking wiper blades with tax was $60.60.
What brand were you buying, man?
They're Bosch. Bosch. No, they don't make
Bosch.
Rain-X for my car. But the thing is, they sell there's no size of Rain-X that fits my car.
That's
I was
nuts.
kind of surprised at that.
That's nuts.
I get I can buy Bosch. I can buy, according to the book, I can use. They call them hybrid blades, but I haven't seen what those look like. I imagine that they are made from. I don't know. I don't know what a hybrid blade is. But $60.60 for 2 blades. I only lost one, but I'm like, I'm not just going to replace one. I'm going to replace them both in pairs.
Christopher Measle said, "Dude, are they made of gold?"
The thing is, the other blades that I could get, they're like $11.95 or $12, or they're like half the price. But you got to replace them like every 60 days.
Yeah. No, they dry rot out so dang quick, especially in the Texas heat.
Yeah,
them things would be so brittle.
Yeah, those blades that I had on them, I had them like right after I bought the car. I got a K&N filter, and I bought good wiper blades because nothing pisses me off more than having bad wiper blades where it just like streaks and just looks like crap and you can't drive. And so
side story. Can I tell a side story?
Sure, man. We're all about side stories.
Crazy hillbilly side story stuff, right? Like I had an old like 84 like GMC Suburban, like a tank, like the old tanks, and the windshield wipers were kind of dry rotted on it. So I pulled them off and I took duct tape. Perfect strip of duct tape.
Dude, you rednecked your wiper blades.
And it worked so well. But when I went in for inspection one year, the guy was like, "This doesn't pass inspection. Those aren't good." I was like, "Run them."
They work.
And he was like, "I'm surprised they work as well as they do." So if you're ever in a quick bind, do
a perfect fold on some 100-mile-an-hour tape, some duct tape.
Yes.
That's a beautiful story. So look at this storm here, man. It was just this was what's called the cloud formation was a mothership cloud formation, which means your cloud peaks were around 55,000 feet, and the lower, when it was down at the lowest point, it was maybe 1,000, 1,500 feet. So we had, if you look, let's see, where's the other picture? This one right here. You can see how low the clouds are. This is that was a lower. So all that shit down there, those are what's called scuds. If you get the right circulation, those little motherfuckers turn into tornadoes. They had 2-inch diameter hail falling. Mm-hmm. And they actually had I think Irving had a tornado. I think it was rated as an F1, but still that's 105 mile an hour winds. But it just descended on the Arlington area. And that's just it was so much rain, dude. It just, but you could go. I think I made a joke. I think I put it in our team room that it's like this storm was sponsored by like Gay Pride or something, because like all the colors in the map were represented here.
It's raining, man.
But dude, it was such an eerie. I mean, I'm driving. The further I went out of the Metroplex, driving from east to west on Interstate 20, we're having a lot of construction right now. So, there was an accident on top of construction means you're going about, anywhere from dead stop to 5 or 10 miles an hour for a good long while. So I roll down the window because I think I hear, you can see this storm, and I think I'm hearing something, and it's not my stereo. So I turned down the stereo, I rolled down the window, and the freaking tornado sirens are going off. I'm like, I'm here with thousands of people on Interstate 20. Tornado sirens are going off, and I'm like, crap, there's nowhere to go.
How long you've been living in the South, but tornado sirens are just a suggestion?
They are, well, fortunately, it wasn't in our area. It's like, okay, I live in Tarrant County, so somewhere in Tarrant County there was a tornado. So it's like all the sirens in Tarrant County go off. And I know I had just left work, and they make us get into the bathroom. The bathroom is our safe space, our tornado safe space. So it's the innermost room. There's no windows.
Go into the hallway and just put a book over your head. You know, like we used to do in elementary school.
We can. Oh my gosh! Right. It works for tornadoes and nuclear weapons.
Yes. Go under your desk, put a book over your head. You'll be all right. Just don't stare at the flash.
Jody says, "Where are you originally? Where are you originally from? Are you talking about me, or are you talking about Mr. Measle, Christopher?" I don't know. So it's about.
I'm from Appalachian Mountain.
You're a mountain man. You're an Irish mountain man. So let me do one more story. How's your bladder, bro? You doing good?
It's getting there. It's getting there. I got time. Yeah.
You got time? Okay. One more story, and then we'll take a really quick break. And with the break is going to be a good one because I'm going to try not to get a copyright strike. I should, but I don't think the algorithm can pick it up. I don't know. We're going to find out. I found this song last night. It's a really good song. So when we take a break, you'll see it. I think it's the second song. Anyway, Buffalo Wild Wings. I love going to Buffalo Wild Wings, but there's a Chicago man, a guy's from Chicago, found an ambulance chasing lawyer who's going to help him sue Buffalo Wild Wings for deceptive marketing, saying that the boneless chicken wings are not made from real chicken wings. Eamon Halim filed a complaint last week against the restaurant and Inspire Brands Incorporated in the U.S. District Court of Northern Illinois. Halim contends that the boneless wings are not actually part of the chicken wing, but it's instead slices of chicken breast meat deep fried like wings. This clear-cut case of false advertising should not be permitted, as consumers should be able to rely on the plain meaning of the product's name and receive what they are promised, the lawsuit stated. Halim also contended that had the consumers known what the boneless wings were made out of, they would have paid less for them. I don't get that. I mean, I think that the boneless ones are probably healthier for you. There's not as much fat. But anyway, Buffalo Wild Wings replied via Twitter. That's how seriously they're taking this.
Oh, okay.
They said, "It's true. Absolutely. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. They're not made of wing meat." And they said also, "Our hamburgers contain no ham and our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo."
That's a good reply.
So we'll see what happens on that. It's probably going to get tossed, or I mean, you never know. Buffalo Wild Wings might just throw them a bone.
Start calling them adult chicken nuggets. Just Buffalo Wild Wings. If you're listening, stop calling them boneless. Just call them adult chicken nuggies. You're
chicken
all right.
nuggies. There you go.
Yes, adult chicken nuggies. You're all right. But to the man suing, and I hope he hears this. You're an oxygen thief. Go apologize to a tree.
All right, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a nuclear reactor on the moon. We're going to talk about the Russian aircraft that took down a U.S. drone. I've got video. I've got the entire video that was released, not just that 10 seconds that you see on the news. I've got all 42 seconds of it. And we're gonna do a little deep dive into North Korea because Kim Jong-un's sister's starting to talk shit. And then we'll talk about Rick Allen from Def Leppard got attacked while going outside and having a smoke. So we're going to take a very short break, and we are going to be back in just a few moments. And listen to the second song and tell me how you like it. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. TF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom. My name is Kaz, and up there in the bubble of doom is Pookie. Taxation is theft. I don't think we've done one show where we haven't said taxation is theft in one way, shape, or form.
I gotta get it. That's like...
we probably could have done that with the bailout when we talked about the bailouts and stuff and all that banking stuff. But you made it work there, which is great. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to talk about this a badass nuclear reactor on the moon. Now, I've been wondering, because I know that the space agencies have been talking about making a moon base, having a moon base to have it be like a step-off point for travel to and from Mars at some point.
It makes sense.
But Rolls-Royce, the British aerospace company Rolls-Royce, is continuing its work in developing nuclear power. And they actually made a nuclear reactor. It's undergoing testing. And it's going to be used for space flight and space exploration. Today, the company announced funding from the UK Space Agency to further research and develop a nuclear reactor that is meant to power a future base on the moon. I think this is awesome. The UK Space Agency provided Rolls-Royce with £2.9 million, which is about 3.5 million United States dollars for this effort. Rolls-Royce elaborated in its release that its funding will be to specifically study the fuel that the reactor will use to generate heat, study ways to transfer that heat, and evaluate the technologies needed to transform that heat into electricity. The reactor could be used to power rovers, communication systems, and science experiments on the lunar surface. Rolls-Royce hopes to have the nuclear reactor ready to